Hi there, Nathan.
What's going on?
Oh, not much. I was just about to start typing hi to people.
I got Gary Wade mod in another channel. I'm like the only mod in that channel, and he's running over. It was,
Well,
and
thank you, everybody.
we do have a special guest tonight. I always wait a few minutes before I bring up the special guest and go over the ins and outs and what we do and don't need to talk about before we bring somebody up. Of course, everybody knows Ed. Ed is not my guest. Ed is not my co-host. Ed is my partner in crime. Uh, where you see one of us on the stream, you usually see both of us. Uh, and I couldn't make it through some of these streams without Ed because he is really good at doing what he does, and that's filling voids when I run out of stuff to say. Let me grab one real quick because I don't know if I can make it through without it.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody, for coming. You know what? I'm not going to talk because I've got an echo. I had an echo. Ooh, Milky Way. That was so bizarre. When you got up, I heard an echo, and then
I plugged
he
my
said,
other mic. I plugged my other mic in. It may have been switching mics.
I was going to thank people for coming.
It sound all good now?
Yeah, you sound great.
Good. Okay, Ed, do you know of anything we need to talk about? I know you usually have a list of what's going on and what's being canceled. I mean, no need going through all the list. I understand today is it today or tomorrow the deadline for Project Facilia?
Actually, yesterday was.
Okay,
But if you
I knew
throw
it
it
was
in there,
close.
maybe you might get lucky.
I knew it was close. I knew it was close. I didn't know exactly when it was. Uh, Anything else going on? As far as I know, Chicago is still going on.
Yeah, no new cancellations that I know of. James said that there's going to be a Knoxville event that
Yes,
they're
that's
still
in
organizing,
that's
but
in
they've set a
September,
date.
right? Didn't he say September? October.
October, the first weekend of October.
Cool.
So that's pretty
Oh,
cool. That'd be the closest. Oh, there's James right there.
for sure, I'm coming to that, but I hope I make it up to your way before October.
Oh, for sure. I think that's going to be the 3rd and the 4th of October. And I don't want to give out any more details because I don't know what I was sworn to secrecy.
Hey,
But
James, welcome to the
I know the
stream.
dates are allowed to be said.
Let me go through and welcome everybody because I have not done that yet. DMC Productions, hello. Nathan's Fish Boy, Big Tank Hank, Blake's Aquatics, Chattanooga Ed, Aquarium Thoughts, Big J's Fish Keeper, Lefty, GRB, Chad Crotts, James Fishing Fever, and I think that's it. If I missed anybody, I am so sorry. Forgive me. I'm not perfect, like Ed.
Yes, you are correct. Man, though, you're sure tan. I wish I could get as tan as you.
I walked 3 miles today.
Holy cow, is that all right on your heart?
Well, I started out a mile and a half, and I was still feeling good, so I kept going.
I thought you were going to say you
Hey, Bob.
walked a mile and a
Taylor's
half and
Aquatics.
realized you had to come home.
No. No, I walked 3 miles.
Wow. I
So
walked about a half a mile and I was exhausted. I have
and
my physical therapy.
I tried to bale hay, but I got in trouble for that. I got stopped real quick for baling hay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they make
anyway,
me walk 15 minutes every time I have my physical therapy.
now granted, this was all flat ground. There was no hills, so it wasn't that difficult. Mickey M, welcome to the stream. Bob, I don't know how I missed you. I never seen your name up in the top. I think you're just pulling my leg and you just showed up.
It's good to see you, Bob. Well, I've got tadpoles in my ponds or my tubs.
Really cool.
I hope so. They're small ones, so that's good. I don't think they're bullfrog. I'm hoping they're the little type of frog.
I started to collect some today and put in a bucket outside. I really don't want them in my tanks in the house because they'll hop out and be all over the place. But I started to put some in a bucket outside. And I put sand in all my outside tubs today finally. And I got sponge filters in. Well, I just got one sponge filter. I'm letting it run a day in each one of them. Because I'm going to try to run them with just an air stone. I'm really not going to filter them. So, for tonight's special guest, I guess you've seen the new logo, or the logo was a little different tonight than the typical Sand Creek. And we're probably not going to go through the typical questions that we do with normal guests because y'all know this guy and this guy has tons of information, so no need in boring y'all with the random how'd you get started fish keeping, what kind of fish do you keep, and the typical questions. We're pretty much going to let it go where it goes, and if you have a question for our guest or me or Ed, please use the @ sign so that it shows up on our screen and we'll be more than likely to see it than not. We're going to welcome our guests, and our guest is none other than Blake's Aquatics. Welcome, Blake.
How you going? Sorry to just... It's just me.
Oh, you're awesome.
Good to be on. Good to chat to you both.
That's good. Glad you're here, Blake. Oh, you're always welcome. Love your streams, and that's one thing I want to tell you first is I admire the admiration and the work that you put into your live streams.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it certainly takes up a lot of the Thursday, that's for sure.
And that last live stream where you did the cichlids and the audience kind of voted on it, that was so much fun, and you can use that chart for anything.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing that on the Mondays for sure.
Yeah, I really like that. That was a lot of fun.
I feel like my audio is a bit weird. Like, does it sound much?
You sound like you might have a cold, but yeah, a little muffled, but not bad.
We'll push through, but yeah, I've got a different thing happening tonight, so a bit of extra playing around to do, I guess.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't have noticed had you not said anything.
Oh, good. But yeah, I'll be keen to do that game every second Monday, alternating with King and Queen. So I had a lot of fun doing it too, and it's certainly a lot faster to put together than my usual Thursday night, Wednesday early morning streams that I do, which are very much more educational. Like we run through, highlight a bunch of fish or whatever, and talk about different things about them. So that takes a lot more time than the game, and yeah, it was more fun. But the reason I wouldn't do the game all the time is just because I think you need a lot of people in the stream, and I was lucky that time slot goes after JH, so there's usually 40, 50 people there, so that's all good. But
yeah, I don't think you'd want to do it ever stream either, because one, you'd run out of things to do, and two, enough of anything gets old.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd be running out of topics for my other streams by now, but seem to come up with one at the nth hour every time.
Well, they are amazing. I try to shout you out all the time because I really do appreciate the work that you put into your live streams. They're awesome. I just wish I could stay awake that early or late, or I don't know.
No,
I try every week.
Thanks a
Yeah,
lot for
I
that.
try, and most of the time I do. You see me in chat most of the time, but if not, I do rewatch.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I understand that the time slot's not the best. That's why I decided to put it out as like a podcast and then cut up version as well, just because that way, if it's not a good time slot, then at least you can consume the information in an easier format. You know, you don't have to sit there for 4 hours or whatever, or an hour and a half these days. But yeah,
Yeah, I
Well, you
watch.
have great visuals. So, I mean, you can watch it anytime. It's not just sitting and reading what people are saying. And
mm,
yeah,
mm.
you do a wonderful job.
Yeah, I watched
Um,
Rumble's video today, or it may have been his live stream. I don't remember if it was live or his video. I don't think he was too happy about the flower horn being in the F position.
yeah, I was happy about that because I knew he would be unhappy about it, which is
Yeah.
very good. But no, we actually all of us Aussies down here, we have a lot of good chat between each other, and yeah, it's a really good environment. Like nobody has like any YouTube beef or anything. Like we all get along. So
Yeah, we really don't here. I mean, there's a couple people that, of course, we have a lot more people than y'all do streaming. A lot more people. So then you're always gonna have a couple people that want to argue about little things. But for the most part, we all get along great, support each other, answer each other's questions. Whatever each other needs, we're there for them.
yeah. Also, I guess I should say hello to everyone in the chat, and thanks, Bob, for the link work. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank
Um,
you God, for the link.
But yeah, you're exactly right. I guess the more people you have in a room, the more chance. Same with anything really. The more fish you put in a tank, the more chance somebody's going to get grumpy one day. I guess the more people you have in a room, the more chance. Same with anything really. The more fish you put in a tank, the more chance somebody's going to get grumpy one day.
That's right. That's right.
The more chance. Same with anything really. The more fish you put in a tank, the more
My
chance
fault.
somebody's
My
going
fault.
to get
My
grumpy
fault.
one day.
My fault. My fault. I clicked on the wrong thing.
Such a good quote that it was worthwhile listening to 3 times.
Yes. Well, you have a cool voice. we,
So changing the subject from fish real quick.
Yeah.
How's your daddy-in-law doing? I haven't asked lately.
Yeah, he's going super well. So, for those that aren't aware, my father-in-law for a long time he's had COPD. I'm not exactly sure what the acronym stands for, but basically like really really bad lungs. I think they were running at about 20% total of capacity. So, everything becomes hard. So, recently he got a double lung transplant, and it's looking like he's going to come home. What day is it? It's Tuesday here, so in 2 days' time he's going to be home. So really good. The day after the surgery, he did have to go back in just for some internal bleeding, but that got fixed, and he's on the mend. He looks $1 million. It's really really interesting.
I bet.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
you go from 20% to I would say he's at least operating 75, 80% now.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
a huge difference.
And I was talking to him last night, and he said like, oh, he still needs a break, like if he walks down a hallway or whatever. But now it's not because of air; it's because like of fitness. Because for so long he's only been able to walk so far that I guess your body gets used to it, and your rib cage and all that isn't used to lungs expanding
Right.
and everything. So there'll be a bit of rehabilitation to do, but yeah, very exciting. So. Yeah, I guess the only thing that I didn't realize about transplants, well, there's lots of things I didn't realize, but I didn't realize that forever you would have to take so many medications. Like he has to take, I think, 30 pills a day or something like that.
Yeah, you have to take
Yeah, all the anti-rejection.
you
Yeah.
have to take so much medicine to keep your immune system low, or your body sees those lungs as a bad thing, and they start trying to reject them and throw them out.
Yeah, and things like mowing the lawns. Is that an Australianism? Do you say mowing the lawns?
Yep.
Yeah,
The grass or whatever? You can't really do that anymore because it's a risk of infection and all that. But I mean, anything's better than wheeling around a little oxygen tank and all that. So
Yeah,
think
the last time I seen him was before the transplant, and he was on Blackie Stream for just a moment, and then it just seemed like he was struggling so much to breathe.
yeah. He was struggling, especially at this time. Like when it gets into winter, he really struggled. So, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm glad he's doing good. I'm glad he's doing good. So, you got any upcoming projects coming up, or
Oh, I got too many
anything
things.
you want to talk about without spoiling anything?
Actually, I'm at a weird spot. Usually, I like to be 4 videos ahead because I do daily videos, and I don't like to panic that I need to quickly put one together. But today I've got nothing in the queue, so it's pressure's on. I need to do that. I need to find something to do, but I've got some ideas. Actually, this one that I'm going to do today, it's mostly edited now. Fluval Bug Bites just came out in Australia. Literally, the very first container has been opened, and I got the line, so I'm going to test those out. I think they're pretty good, but yeah. No. I think you guys have more options though. We just have 5 types of flakes and 1 crisp, algae crisp.
Hmm.
We don't. I've never really fed bug bites a lot. I have fed the bug bites, but there's not a lot of options on the shelf. Now, I never have researched online, but there's only like 4 or 5 different kinds on the shelves in the pet store. There's a pleco, of course, the bug bites. There's a cichlids, a community. It seemed like something else, but I don't know that we don't have just tons of options when it comes to bug bite brand, the Blueville brand.
Yeah,
I know
usually
there's at least 4 flakes. The flakes are the kind of the newer thing. They just came out like 6 months ago, maybe. I bought 2 of them. I think there's a spirulina one, maybe a saltwater fish one or
Right.
something. Those are the 2 I didn't buy.
Yeah,
Versus the
okay.
flake.
So the
HC.
six that I got, I'm looking at them right now. So, spirulina flake, color enhancing flake, goldfish flake, better flake, algae crisps, and I can't see the other one, but
Probably the
yeah.
soldier fly larva
Yeah.
bites. I bet.
I was expecting something more like Northfin Bug Pro, where they're kind of like a little pellet. But
That's what our originals are. The original
Yeah.
stuff was pellets.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, because that's what I thought, and I watched a lot of Aquarium Co-op just because, I think we have a lot of similar interests, and yeah, Corey a while ago. Now it's more so the extreme, but a while ago was right into the bug bites, so I was pretty hyped for a long time.
The channel I just got through modding, I don't know if you ever watch it. Comes on right before mine with it. Is JN Aquariums or Aquatics? I don't remember if it's Aquariums or Aquatics. But he's fairly new to YouTube. Not new. He's had a lot of videos, but fairly new to lives. But he had a guy on there tonight that was from Northfin that was pushing the bug bites from Northfin pretty heavy.
Yeah. He has a YouTube channel as well. The name doesn't come. Starts with a J, I think.
Yeah,
J,
Jeff something.
yeah. Yeah. This is a great chat, but I just seen the chat whiz by, and I feel like I'm missing out. So, yeah, I just want to recognize some of the comments. Like Nathan, good luck with your pop and his recovery. It's pretty scary at the time, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm good.
And Green Terror Keeper, Mum had a double lung transplant as well. First thing I noticed was the color of the skin. Yeah, definitely like John. His name's Jono. His face was very full, like pink, whereas usually it was quite, white and all that. So
that's all the prednisone, the steroids are feeding him.
yeah, probably that as well. But I
have a question about that.
Yeah,
double, is it from the same person or is it 2 separate people's lungs?
Yeah, I believe it was from the same person because it would be more likely to be one of them would be rejected. Does that make sense? Like, if your body accepts.
Well, that's what I was wondering if they did a double, if from two different people, if one would be rejected and one wouldn't. But if you put
Hmm.
two from one person, they might both be rejected. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know if like, I'm obviously not a doctor or anything, but if
Oh, Bob's
one-
saying same person. He's a surgical nurse,
Yeah.
so he knows.
because I guess if one gets rejected, is that bad news? Like, is that as good as both of them being rejected? I don't know if you can go on with one lung.
I mean,
Oh, you can.
with it being from the same person, I don't know that you could reject one and not the other.
Mm.
Right. But I do know people can live with one lung.
Yeah, you can live with one lung.
Yeah. And Jesse uses bug bites. One thing, the algae crisp, like it was a feeding frenzy in there. Everything was all over it. Shrimp, bristlenose, guppies, and all that. So I think if I can get them at the right price, then I might just get rid of algae wafers that I've been using previously and use the algae crisp because they're really good. Really impressed with those.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try those out. Right now, I'm eating Akari wafers, and they're okay, but they don't swarm them or go crazy over them or nothing.
Hmm.
Well, I'm hoping that next week, Bob Kaler, James from Fish Room Fever, and then Mr. Fisher and Dragon Lair, I think we're going to try to meet up in Atlanta, and we'll be going to a lot of Atlanta's a huge city in America.
Yeah.
And we're going to go to a lot of the shops. So I'm going to take photos of the different bug bites they got.
Nice.
And and maybe I'll send them to you or something and see if they compare to the same size as yours and same type. That'd be interesting.
I mean, that's a really gracious offer, but I probably wouldn't because Australia's customs, I think that's the reason why it's taken so long to get in. And a lot of the domestic foods, they claim that, they're better because they're non-irradiated or irradiated because for fish foods that are imported, I believe they have to blast it with radiation to make sure that
Wow.
Really?
nothing comes in. Yeah, Australia's
Jeepers.
really strict.
I'm surprised that don't affect the breeding of the fish.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of that conspiracy stuff going around. There's a lot of people that use only domestic foods. Yeah, I'm not one of those people, but I've never found it to be a problem. But even state to state, so for example, like in Western Australia, where Rumble's from, you can't get any cherry shrimp. They're illegal over there. And then where I am, you can't get koi. They're illegal here. So, but you can get koi there, and I've got heaps of cherry shrimp here. So it's very interesting, even depending on what side you're on.
I mean, I think we have some similar situations in the U.S., not to the extent that y'all do, but our states each has their own regulations as far as what fish we can and can't have.
Hmm.
But it's not to the extent of what we hear y'all talk about in Australia.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because humans have messed up so much stuff in Australia already.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have so many problems with animals that we've brought into the country and messed it all up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
That's what happened.
the country is like Florida's waterways.
Yeah, I still say that's what happened to Florida.
Yeah. And for the record, like I'm happy to not keep koi if it saves, like a pygmy perch or like some kind of native species. That's not a big drama. We've got so many options available. And, if koi was legal, then it would just be the next thing. Why aren't Asian arowanas legal or why aren't XYZ illegal? So
Yeah.
you'll never please everyone.
Yeah.
Hey, can I have to make one quick pause?
Go ahead.
I am just going to play with one button and we'll see if it fixes that muffling because I can hear myself and it does annoy me. Let's try that.
He must be putting in his airlines. In his fish.
Can you hear me now? Oh, it's worse now. Okay, we'll can that idea.
Yeah, I mean, I can hear you fine.
I'd rather koi than look at carp.
You
Yeah,
know,
you know,
and
it's
something I was going to mention before, Ed, you putting airlines in your fish room? Is that what that was?
Yeah, my brother-in-law just came up, and he just wanted to show me what it would look like. So pretty cool. I'm going to paint all the PVC, but what he did was he hooked it all up all the way around. I'm going to just pull it apart, and I'm going to spray paint it.
You can
But
paint it or the
he
color
just
of the
didn't.
wall.
He just didn't know what to do with these things, and so he's heading home now. But he just wanted me to say, yeah, that'll work.
Are you going to paint the color of the wall or black?
I'm going to actually do a dark blue. I couldn't find a teal, so I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh,
on you
you're
like
fine.
that.
You're fine, Ed.
yeah,
But
left.
just like anything else, we humans always want what we're not supposed to have, and take the stuff that we can get for granted sometimes.
Those stainless steel taps are awesome though. I use so many of those.
Oh, aquarium co-op, 5 for $10 or 5 for $6. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So
But it's annoying for me because I have to use two because I don't like, I'm not climbing up there to adjust it. So I like to have one near the tank and then one up the top. I mean, I could just use something cheaper at the top, I guess. But
totally makes sense. I understand 100% what you're saying. I was thinking the same thing. This might just be just the valve to hook it into, and then it always is open or always closed.
Cool.
Yep.
So,
So do you have a central airline in your fish room?
yeah, but it's not well done at all. It's like everything. I think you need to do it a couple of times before you get good at it. Mine's not a loop. Mine is like 2 directions. It's terrible. So technically on this photo, that's the background. One runs along that brick wall and then a line would come across on top of my head and that feeds the air for this. This is hard to do backwards. It feeds the air for this row here. So I just have 2 rows of PVC and 2 rows of tanks. Yeah.
I got you.
I fish for
Well,
4 miles.
I'm blessed with my brother-in-law because he like runs airlines through factories. He's a plant engineer, so they run their tools off of airlines. But he's never done anything this micro. I mean, he uses air filter or pumps that are as big as this room.
That's so funny. What was I going to say? Yeah, this hobby has been so amazing. Like, I didn't even own a drill before I worked on fish tanks. I was
Jeepers.
I was not a DIY guy, but now, like I've worked with PVC, gluing it together. You learn so much. Build stands. Yeah, it's crazy. The life skill.
He was walking through home or Lowe's. Lowe's is a hardware store here, and he must have said 20 times as he was holding this little thing, "It's so small. It's so small." He just kept saying it's so small. It's so funny.
Did you tap that in, Ed, or did you just glue it?
He put a little drill. Went on YouTube to find what's the best size drill, and it's a number 14 drill. They didn't have the actual size, so you had to figure that out. But you drill it, and then it's a little smaller than this, and you screw it in. That's all you do.
Use the threads of the valve to thread itself.
Yeah, it's self-tapping is what it's called.
I got you.
But it's. I thought self-tapping would be spiky, and you just shove it in yourself. But you still have to make a hole. Here, I could take it out.
My do-it-yourself projects, Blake, have sometimes in the long run cost me more than what I could have bought before.
Yeah, I get that. GRB, I use a Resun LP60, which I believe is a diaphragm pump, not a linear piston. But that was just what I thought was affordable at the time. I didn't really know a lot. All I knew was I had too many small air pumps going.
So how long have you actually been keeping fish?
Not too long. Maybe about 3 years now. Yeah, not that long. But I've been like, I've been researching for maybe 9 years total. I've been into fish, but I moved around a lot. Like I was moving house every 6 months and all that. And yeah, so I never did buy a tank, but yeah, actually,
Yeah, it's
my
hard to do when
my now wife and I, like ages ago, like when I think I was in my first year of university, we went to a pet shop. I don't know why, just you think that you'll earn some points or whatever if you show a cool kitten or something. And we had a fight. We had our first ever fight was about a fish tank, and that was because I wanted to get it, but it was stupid. But it's quite funny now. We have many other fights about fish tanks now. Nah, not really. He's pretty good about it.
So, not trying to be nosy or anything, but do you own your house now, or are you renting?
Nah, this is Jono's house. So this is his holiday house, and yeah, we had some circumstances where we had to just quickly move somewhere, and they made this available for us. And yeah, we probably should have left a long time ago, but pretty comfortable. I don't exactly feel like moving all of this.
Good.
What, is it close to
You
him?
don't have to worry about a landlord, really.
Yeah, that's the good thing. I mean, it's empty most of the year anyway, so they can obviously come and visit whenever. So that's fine. It's not exactly nearby. It's about 2 hours drive, maybe.
Oh, jeepers.
Yeah, but so this is a coastal. Like I live in a place called Ocean Grove, and like I can walk to the beach, and I think I mapped it one time. It's like 800 meters. Oh, you don't know meters. I don't know how many feet that is, or yards, or whatever.
Probably 13.
Yeah.
Well, if a mile is like 2 kilometers, so a quarter mile.
Oh, so you're right on the beach then.
So
Yeah.
a football field or a track that goes around a football field.
Yeah, if you stretched it out in a line, yeah, about that.
That's pretty cool.
I'm glad all y'all are receiving your stickers this week. And if you haven't already received them, or you sent me your address and haven't received them, please resend it because I very easily could have missed it. And if you want stickers, email me your address to this email.
Did get a question coming in from Chad. Are there any species illegal in Australia that you wish you could keep? Yeah, there's one thing. CPOs, the dwarf crayfish.
Mhm.
I wish that we could keep them, but we can't get them here. Or Amazon puffers. Yeah, we don't
How
get
about
very
honey
many
blue eye?
puffers at all. I've got 4 pea puffers here, but it's impossible to guess how many puffers are in Australia. But it's probably hundreds, not very many. So,
We all wish we could get the honey blue eyes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I want those so bad.
See,
But
I know.
y'all can't export them, can you?
I don't believe so. Nah. Even in Australia, they're hard to get because, like I've only seen them. I only got them because I went to the Angfa auction, Australian New Guinea Fishers Association auction, and there was one lot that was honey blue eyes, and I paid way too much money for them, but I needed them, so yeah. And I was lucky I got to breed them and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I did lose a few of them at the end of summer. I suspect because of a nymph or whatever, dragonfly nymph. But
Yeah, you kept them in your outside tubs last summer, didn't you?
yeah, and I mean it was my first year of summer tubbing. Next year I'll be a bit better prepared. I'll put some netting, like some fly screen or something over the pond. But yeah, really fun process, and I still do have 6 or 8 of them or something like that. So we've got enough. I only put 3 out there last year, so if I put 6 out there next year, we should be okay.
Good. Yeah, those are some beautiful little fish.
The one thing that rather than keeping a fish, I'm jealous of you guys having access to so many clubs. We don't have clubs at all here. In the entire state of Victoria, there's 2 clubs, and they kind of intertwine. So basically, they're the same club, but they meet at different locations every month or whatever.
I'm kind of in your boat too. The area that I live in, I don't have any clubs around me.
Yeah,
Like closest one's like 3.5 hours away or so.
yeah. So that's about how far I'd have to drive, and that's with me being fairly close. So in Victoria, where I live, is the bottom half, the very bottom of the eastern side of Australia. And in Victoria, the capital city is Melbourne, and then an hour south of Melbourne, there's another capital, like a secondary city called Geelong. So, like I'm in the main area, like the city area, and it's still like 2.5, 3 hour drive to the closest club, which I think's crazy.
There is one here that's a couple hours away from me, but they're not active. You'll see somebody post something on Facebook every now and then. As far as physically being active and having meetings and trade shows and stuff like that, they're not active.
Mm. Yeah, and
I'm gonna grab something to drink. Y'all continue.
yeah, you're right. And yeah, usually it's hard to sort of get away and go to them, but with the Angfa auction, it was, like it was some big auction, like a certain milestone year, and they go to capital cities every year. And this year, coincidentally, it was at Melbourne Airport. So I was like, it's never going to be closer, or it's not going to be closer for a long period of time. Might as well just sort of, just go there and see what happens. And yeah, it's really fun. I think it'd be a lot more fun now because I have so many more connections and stuff. But
Right.
yeah, it was a bit daunting. It was good.
Well, see, I had a big club in St. Louis, and I moved to Chattanooga, and ours is just like a brand new club that's just starting off, and then Knoxville's just starting off, and then really the only experienced big club, the closest one's about 5 hours away from me, and then I have to go way north to Cincinnati or Indianapolis.
Right.
So it's kind of a bummer, and that's states away.
That's interesting because, like, the way that I hear about things, I imagine like you turn around and you're looking at a new club, or you
Yeah.
walk down.
I think Daniken Aquatics, Keeney, and Danny from Daniken Aquatics, I think they have a really active club. And there's several active clubs across the United States, but they're few and far between.
Right.
Well,
the other
Atlanta has clubs, but they're saltwater. So I don't want to go to a saltwater club.
Yeah, fair enough. Too. I did notice somebody else had a question here. I can't really see that. Oh no, it was just Lefty saying I had a snazzy jacket. That's what I was thinking.
Hey Lefty, welcome to the stream.
So now is it starting to get cold there?
Yeah, it's really cold. Overnight, it's getting down to the sort of 1-2 degrees Celsius, which is
Like
30.
Zero's freezing, right?
Yeah.
Zero's freezing. Ours is 32 is freezing. So you're
33, 34. Something.
You're low.
We don't get snow down here because of the salinity, so we just get some fog and stuff like that. So it's nothing too crazy.
Yeah, what do you do at Christmas? Is it hot during Christmas?
Yeah, we jump in the pool. We have a barbecue.
That's crazy.
We wear flip flops.
Well, when does do you guys have summer vacation for the kids?
No. So we call it annual leave. So like, I think in America you only get two weeks leave, don't you? From if you work normal, like if you work full time, you get 2 weeks off.
Oh yeah, usually.
My old job had 6 weeks. I had 6 weeks. And it really depends. Everybody's
depends
different.
on what you do and where you work.
Because the norm is 4 weeks in Australia. You get 4 weeks off, and and like if you work for a government job or whatever, you can purchase another 4 weeks. So you just take reduced leave and stuff like that, like reduced amount pro rata across the year and all that. But I can't remember where that came up about the 2 weeks. I think somebody was on holidays once and they were like, oh, so you headed home after this? And we're like, no, we got 4 weeks. Why would we head home? And they're like, oh, we've only got 2 weeks. We got to go. I was like, oh, man.
Well, but like your kid's in school. Our
Yeah.
school goes for 9 months. It kind of goes from September to May.
Right.
And the kids don't go to school during the summer.
Right. Is there any breaks
So-
between that?
Yeah,
Yeah, we have like
Christmas. And
a week or two in Christmas,
and then
a
a
week
break. It's usually a week.
Right.
Easter. Yeah. Oh, and Thanksgiving is a week. So yeah, we have like
Okay.
several breaks.
Yeah. So the way that school works in Australia is you have 4 terms. A term is about 10 weeks, usually 10 to 12 weeks. And then you get 2 weeks off in between. And then whatever's left over at the end, you get around Christmas time. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's
Okay.
how we run our
Yeah.
school runs four
Yeah.
times a day.
Between Christmas and Easter off, something like that, usually. Or around about that. But we don't get the big spring break or whatever. We just have.
Welcome to the stream.
So did
Yeah.
you have any idea that you'd be talking about school breaks?
Oh well, I've actually done more schooling than most people. I don't know why. I guess I'm a sucker for punishment, but I mean, so you have kindergarten and then 12 years. I think it works differently as well, isn't it? So we have that kindergarten and then 12 years, and then I did 5 years of a bachelor's degree, and then I did 4 years part-time for a master's as well. So I'm like,
That's about the same.
my entire life I've been at school. It's crazy.
It's about the same here. I mean, it really depends on what your major is, how long you go to school after your 12th year of high school.
Right.
I went 4 years after high school.
I went 5.
Nice. Bob, so the bachelor was in civil engineering and the master's was in business. So kind of has some good flow on with fish keeping there, that's for sure.
And you still working full time too. You're just working from home right now, right?
Yeah, that's right. So I'm technically on my lunch break right now because it's nearly 1 p.m. Yeah, and I work as a project manager doing, like civil construction projects.
Cool. I thought you were still working from home.
Yeah, no, I was pretty lucky. My employer is quite secure, so I was never concerned about anything like that, luckily.
Good. Good.
It's 1 p.m., but is it June 2nd?
Yeah.
See, that's so bizarre.
Yeah, it's Tuesday there, right? Still Monday here.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, congrats, Lefty. You won't know what to do with yourself after. I was definitely like that. I think I just rolled straight into the Masters because I was like, I don't know what to do with spare time. And then between that, I found fish keeping and now I have no spare time. So it's all good. And then I found YouTube and now I have even less spare time. But it's good because I have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun with YouTube too. Too much fun sometimes. I blame YouTube for my sleeplessness.
Yeah, YouTube's such a fantastic outlet as well. I mean, I don't know how many people out there are lucky enough to have friends that are into fish as well, but I certainly am not one of them. So without YouTube, I have nobody to sort of, get hyped about a new epistogramma or, understand what it takes to, raise up some fry or something like that, So I would just show a picture randomly to my other friends and they'd be like, yeah, and,
And, yeah, I'm same way. I have a couple friends that have aquariums, but if there's kind that come in from work, feed them, forget about them. Come in from work, feed them, forget about them. They don't visit fish stores every day or once a week or anything like I do.
Yeah. Well, Lefty, I only have Prawny now because of YouTube. So actually, I came onto the scene, I guess. I used to just watch Rumble's videos every day. I was just a fan. And that came up randomly because he was building that giant koi pond and he was posting it on Facebook and it wasn't, I saw it on Facebook somewhere. And yeah, so then from that, I was talking to him. I was like, oh, it seems like a good idea documenting what goes on. Like I tend to set up fish tanks, pack them down, buy new fish, breed them, move them on, that sort of thing. So it's like, it would be good to have a bit more of a diary so I remember and then I can go back and look and say, oh, there used to be my big Oscar and all that. And he was the one that was kind of like, yeah, you should just do it. And then I made a few videos and he's like, oh, we got this group of Australian fish YouTubers. And I was like, I'm not a fish YouTuber. Like I've made like 10 videos. I'm not a YouTuber. And he's like, nah, just join and we'll just have some fun. So he did. And then, the flow on effect from that, met Blackie and Aquamade and then you guys and everyone else. So it's been really good. It's been really a whirlwind because like I don't get too wrapped up in numbers and stuff like that, but I do remember it was a week before Christmas and I had 22 subscribers and Dr. Black mentioned me on a stream and I went to 66 that day and here we are. Crazy times. Went really fast.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it is. It does go by fast. This went by really fast for me as well. And I think it's cool how we have such good relationship with the Australians too.
Yeah, I think it's fabulous. Yeah, and there's so much I think we can both learn. We both have different challenges and stuff like that, and just we don't all work off the same time zone as well. So some people prefer up late and some people prefer early morning and all that. So I think it can work, but yeah, no, I think we've got a good relationship going.
Yeah, for sure. I do. I love watching y'all's channels.
Yeah, same.
I think for some reason, well, I don't know, for some reason, the reason that I think Australia is cool, I think almost everybody in America loves Australia because of all the cool things that come out of it. We speak the same language. It's like on The Price is Right. That's the number one place I always want to go when it comes up, oh, it's an Australian trip, So
ever since I was a kid and somebody asked me if you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go? Australia.
Really? Yeah, it's interesting.
I've never heard anybody ever say anything bad about an Australian.
I wouldn't want to go. Granted, I wouldn't want to go to the city part of Australia. So I'd want to go to like the outback, out in the country, get away from the population and everything.
Yeah. Well, that's easy to do. I mean, you don't have to do much to get away from population. The thing about Australia is in the areas that it's dense, it's very small, and then everywhere else is sparse. So even I haven't been to a lot of places in Australia. Like Nathan Fishboy is in South Australia, and I've never even been to South Australia. I've lived
Have you been to the Australian Zoo?
Yeah, I've been to Australia Zoo, yeah.
Yeah, you did a video of that here not long ago, didn't you?
Melbourne Zoo, I did a video of.
That was Melbourne Zoo.
Yeah. But yeah, so I've lived in the 3 states on the East Coast, but I haven't been far west of those states. If that makes sense? Yeah.
Yep.
But it's good, yeah. I could see myself moving a bit further north. I'm a bit envious of like Jesse's climate where you can outdoor pond all year round. So
yeah.
The trouble is when you do get to that sort of climate, you also have to wrestle the odd crocodile.
Yeah.
Well, Hawaii is the dream place to live if you're an American. If you ask anybody in America, you could have an extra house somewhere. They'd price Hawaii if they could get there easy.
Yeah, Hawaii is like the tropical of the United States. You don't get any more tropical than Hawaii.
Yeah,
Next closest thing I would say be Florida Keys.
yeah. I've definitely got plans to visit the US. I haven't visited yet. My wife has, like when she was, teens, the family went over there. But where did she go? She went to LA, I think, and Hawaii. Is that on the same side of?
Yeah,
That,
they're on the same side.
Yeah.
that might be your stop off in the middle if you don't go
Yeah.
straight.
Something like. Well, yeah, that's what I remember. She told me. um, but I actually really want to go to Aquashella. So maybe next year I want to go and sneak off to Aquashella for a day, and then get back onto the family holiday, something like that. I think it
Yeah.
would be crazy. Like even how crazy it was with the underwater pet expo, just seeing so many people you run into, and people would randomly come up and be like, well, back then we were allowed to shake hands. They would shake my hand and be like, I'm XYZ, and I was like, oh, okay. They'd be like, oh, my screen name is, Fish Fan 105, and I'd be like, oh, Fish Fan, you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same way. I don't know if you watched any of it yet or not, but Rack of River Life, he does some streams on Facebook now, and you go over there. He's doing some of his art over there. Is what he's doing on Facebook. You go over there, and people's talking to you like they've known you forever, and you're like, I don't recognize this name, and then finally you figure out, hey, this is Degum the Zen Ginger, or this is Leslie, or this is such and such.
Yeah, so I can only imagine what it would be like, just to do that on a much larger scale in the US.
Well, are you thinking Dallas or Chicago?
Well, it doesn't. I don't mind whichever's
Okay,
better.
well,
You influence me,
they're-
right?
I think they're identical, actually, but it just depends on what time of year you go, and then whatever you do, I'll try to make sure that that's the one I go to. If I only do one, like this year, I'm just going to do Dallas.
Yeah, I don't think I could get into the States this year anyway. I think the borders are shut, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know if the borders are shut, but everything is still screwed up from the
Yeah.
virus. Like everything's been rescheduled or canceled. Like one of them's been moved. Is it Chicago one that's been moved to Halloween, or is it?
No, that's the Dallas one. The Dallas one was supposed to be 2 months ago, and they moved it to Halloween, which stinks. But I was going to go to Dallas and Chicago because they're 6 months apart. They try to break it up real nice, but now Dallas is or Chicago's like at the end of August, and then this one's at the end of October. So it's just 2 months apart. So.
Well, actually, I do recall Lefty saying it something like I had to go through land wherever Lefty is, and then go through where Zen is, and then I think Dallas was the one in the area there. So probably Dallas.
Zen lives, I think, about 4.5 hours from Dallas. Is that right?
Yeah.
She
Chattanooga,
lives in Houston.
Houston. Yeah,
So
Maybe
yeah,
it's 2.5.
it's not far. I'm not exactly sure of the distance.
and yeah,
I
Lefty was right, Bob. No worries. Yeah. So there's plans. It's funny. It's funny how times change. But I've got a lot of holidays lined up that I want to do fish related stuff, like domestically for the meantime. Like there's a few things that I like to do, and then I'd like to one day go over to Green Aqua in Budapest, and that would be really awesome. I'd like to. Well, it's funny. I've been to Japan 3 times, and I have never been to like the ADA studio because I didn't even think about doing that at the time, and now I would love to go back there. So that sort of stuff would be awesome.
Yeah, I never even thought about that till you just said it. Because I'd love to go to Japan,
About it.
but I want to get like Godzilla toys and things.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I can.
Well, the reasons that I went to Japan was because I learnt Japanese for 5 years, and I would go over to like brush up sort of thing, and my school did a exchange program, not like a long one, like 6 weeks, I think it was, where you go and stay with the host family. And I got my host family didn't speak English at all, so it was really scary for the first 2 days. You know, I was like, "What have I done?" But the rest of the time, I learnt probably more in that 6 weeks than I had in a year of reading books and stuff. So, yeah. And then I got home and I wouldn't shut up about it. So my family were like, "Fine, take us over and you can like guide us and all that." And I was like, "Okay."
Very
Yeah.
cool.
As a teenager, you know, your head gets a bit inflated by like, oh, I can show off my skills and all that, and then I went back one other time just as a holiday, but yeah, now I want to go back and do the full Amano pilgrimage and all that, which
Yeah.
Do you still stay in contact with the family you stayed with any?
for a couple of years we had like a pen pal thing going on. I don't know why it was a pen pal because there was internet then. But I guess if we did have, you know, an instant, like if we had a Facebook connection, I probably would. But yeah, no, I don't know why.
I had a German exchange student, and we still keep contact with him all the time. It's pretty neat.
Cool.
Yeah.
And he was with us for almost a whole year, but he was kind of like you. He didn't score high enough to get into university, so if he did a foreign exchange student thing for a year, he would score high enough, and so he lied and said he knew English and came here. And he didn't know anything.
That's funny.
And I was a hockey coach and just wanted a good hockey player on the team. So he's still playing hockey in Germany, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I wanted to do a 12-month, but to do that you had to host one as well, and yeah, my parents weren't into that idea, which I guess is fine. But yeah, so that didn't end up happening. But would have been good fun.
Yep.
Well, guys,
My cat's named
name's
Nico.
But we are on the 10 o'clock mark, so our time is up. I want to thank Blake for coming up. You're always welcome.
Yeah,
Thank-
for sure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. I don't think I asked you until Thursday, which is typically me. I wait till the last minute. One of these days, I'm not going to have a guest on Monday night, but so be it. So far, everybody's been cool with it, and thank you for coming, Blake.
No, you asked me when I was walking the dog, and I was like, "Oh, is this walk going to have to turn into a run? When does this thing start?" But we had enough time, luckily.
And I didn't want to. I didn't want to do the typical, you know, what fish do you keep? How long have you been keeping fish? You know, I just kind of wanted to go where it went because, you know, we all know we see your streams.
Yeah, that's it. You can see the fish that I keep. People know where to go.
But yeah, I appreciate you coming up. Do you have any last words?
So just time flies when you're having fun. It was a great time. Sorry if I missed anything in the chat. I was trying to keep up, but I thought this was a really fun conversation. I'm happy to talk about myself all day. It's the easiest thing ever.
So thank you, Blake. Ed, you got anything you want to say?
Nope. Thank you to the mods. You guys did a wonderful job. And thank you, Blake and Nathan, for hanging out with me tonight. It was fun.
Always good.
And I hate time runs short. It always does when you're having fun. Thank you to all the mods. And I hate to do the whole spiel. Like, if you hadn't subscribed, if you hadn't ring the bell. I always hate saying that. But, you know, I feel like I need to. But thank you all for coming. And as always, there's nobody after me on Monday night. So typically, give me 5 or 10 minutes to shut this stream down, and I'll start up a panel where we all just hang out if you're interested in coming over there. But thank you all for coming. If you come to the panel, I'll see you there. If not, I'll see you tomorrow in some chat. Thank you all for coming.
Sweet.
Thank you, Blake.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you, Ed.
You bet.
I'll see y'all in a little while.